I stared into the abyss of Greg Voss's cold eyes, his voice a venomous hiss. You're not enough. At 32. I'd built this company's backbone, yet there I was, a reflection of every doubt I'd buried, too quiet, too soft, too female. He thought he'd shattered me, tossing me out like yesterday's trash. But as he turned away, a darker truth gleamed in my mind, an envelope, a legacy, a power he'd never fathom, coiling inside me, ready to strike. All right, Reddit, buckle up, because I've got a story that's been simmering in my chest for a year now, and it's time to spill it all. Picture this. I'm 32, sitting at my desk, halfway through crunching the quarterly sales numbers for a company I've poured my soul into for over a decade, when my boss, Greg Voss, storms in like a tornado with a grudge. No knock, no hey. Sarah, got a sec. Just a loud, obnoxious thud as he tosses a file onto my desk, barking. Sarah, we need to talk, now. I freeze. My pen hovering over a spreadsheet that's basically my baby numbers. I've wrestled into submission to show the best revenue spike we've had in 3 years. Greg's this hulking guy, 50-ish, with a permanent sneer and a vibe that screams, I'd rather golf with the boys than deal with you. For 5 years, I've been his shadow, organizing his chaos, fetching his coffee, smiling through his dismissals, because that's what you do when you're a woman in a place like this, right? You grit your teeth and prove yourself twice over. I glance at the file, then up at him, keeping my voice steady. Of course. Greg, take a seat. He doesn't. He looms, arms crossed, like he's about to drop a bomb and savor the fallout. The board's restructuring the leadership team, he says, voice dripping with smugness. We're shifting gears. And honestly, we need people who can lead, not just crunch numbers. My stomach lurches, but I don't flinch. Are you firing me? His smirk twists into something sharper. Let's not get dramatic. Sarah, we're releasing you. Effective immediately. Released. Like, I'm some defective product they're tossing out. No warning, no hey. Your department's killing it. Just a cold, calculated gut punch. I blink, stunned. My heart hammering so loud I swear he can hear it. I see. I manage calm as glass. May I ask why? He leans in, eyes narrowing. You lack vision. Sarah, you manage tasks, not people. And let's be real, this industry needs bold leadership, confidence, assertiveness. Stuff you just don't have. There it is. The unspoken jab I've felt 1,000 times in this building. You're not one of us. Not because I haven't delivered my numbers, scream otherwise, but because I don't swagger around like Greg, barking orders and slapping backs. I'm not the loud, brash guy he thinks a leader should be. It's a dig at me, at my quiet strength, at the fact that I'm a woman who doesn't play his game. I understand, I say, voice flat. Watching his smug face falter for a split second, he wanted me to crack, to yell, to give him a show. Nope. I've spent years mastering the art of keeping cool in rooms full of egos, bigger than their paychecks. I'll need your badge and laptop by end of day, he adds, already turning. Access cuts off at 5 p.m. HR's got your severance. I stand, extend my hand, thanks. Greg, I appreciate the clarity. He hesitates, shakes it like it's a chore. Mutters, good luck out there, and struts off, thinking he's won. I sit back down, exhale slow and deep, my hands steady despite the storm raging inside. I feel lighter, weird, right? Because here's the kicker. Reddit, Greg doesn't know jack about what's coming. 2 weeks ago, on my 31st birthday, my life flipped upside down in the best way possible. And I've been holding that ace up my sleeve, waiting for the perfect moment. I glance at the photo on my desk, my dad, beaming at the ribbon, cutting for this company's first office. The one he founded, the same company Greg just kicked me out of. You told me to wait, Dad. I whisper, tracing the frame. Wait until the time's right. I start packing nothing fancy. Just a mug my team gave me last Christmas. It says, Boss Lady in goofy font. Some notebooks stuffed with ideas Greg never bothered to read. A few trinkets. The office buzzes outside my door. Hushed whispers and pitying glances from coworkers who don't dare ask. I catch a few eyes, give a small smile, and walk out, head high. No drama, just me and my cardboard box. Stepping into the sunlight, I feel 15 years of weight every late night, every overlooked win slide off me. They think they've broken me, but nah. They've just handed me the match to light this place up. I pull out my phone, text my lawyer. Jen, it's time. Prep everything. Her reply pings back instantly. Understood. Shareholder meeting in 5 business days. I turn, stare at the glass tower, gleaming like it owns the world. Greg thinks he's king. But he's about to find out what happens when you underestimate the wrong person. Next time I walk in there, it won't be as Sarah the department head. It'll be as Sarah the majority shareholder. And, oh, the look on his face is going to be worth every second of this wait. All right, Reddit, let's dive back in. This is where the plot thickens. And I'm still buzzing just thinking about it. So, I'm 32, freshly released from my job by Greg Voss, the smug jerk who thinks he's untouchable. And I'm standing outside the company I've bled for, texting my lawyer, Jen, to set the wheels in motion. But to really get why this moment hit me like a freight train, we need to rewind 2 weeks to my 31 birthday. Buckle up, because this is the part where I found out I wasn't just Sarah anymore. I was a freaking force. Picture me in my tiny apartment, sunlight spilling through the window, sitting on the same couch where my dad used to sprawl out with the Sunday paper. It's quiet, peaceful, and I'm holding this thick, cream-colored envelope my family's lawyer, Mr. Carter, handed me a few days earlier. He's this old-school guy, 60s, with a warm grin and a knack for keeping secrets. Sarah, he'd said, leaning across his desk, your dad was crystal clear. You don't open this until your 31st birthday. Not a second sooner. I'd laughed, half expecting some cheesy letter or a goofy keepsake. What? Is it a treasure map or something? He just smirked. Your dad had vision, kid, and he trusted you more than anyone. That line stuck with me, nagging at the back of my mind. My dad, Tom Wren, the guy who built this company from a scrappy startup into a regional powerhouse, died 5 years ago. And I've been carrying his memory like a torch ever since. He was all about people, about building something that lasted. But after he passed, the company turned into this cold corporate machine. Greg swooped in a year later, all MBA swagger and boardroom charm, and started chipping away at everything Dad stood for. I stayed, thinking I could hold on to the scraps of his legacy, but it was like trying to hug a ghost. Anyway, back to my birthday. I'm alone, coffee steaming on the table, and I rip open the envelope expecting maybe a heartfelt note. Instead, I pull out 2 things, a handwritten letter in Dad's neat script and a formal document with embossed seals that looks like it belongs in a courtroom. My heart's already racing, and I unfold the letter first. Sarah, it starts. If you're reading this, you're 32, and that means you're ready. I never doubted it. Not once. You've worked twice as hard for half the credit. And I saw it all, even when you thought I didn't. The late nights, the quiet wins, the way you kept your head up when they tried to push you down. I saw the company change after I left. And I knew a day might come when you'd need more than a title. So, I gave you the whole damn table. I stop, my breath catching, tears pricking my eyes. Dad's words hit like a punch pride, love, and something heavier I can't name yet. My hands shake as I flip to the document, a trust agreement, notarized and airtight. It says 90% of the company shares 90 freaking percent that Dad held on to when he stepped down are now mine, locked in trust until I hit 32, with full voting rights kicking in the second I opened this envelope. I read it again, then a third time, because holy hell, this can't be real. I'm not just a shareholder, I'm the majority owner, the one who calls the shots. My whole body's buzzing disbelief, adrenaline, and this wild, quiet power I've never felt before. I grab my phone. Call Mr. Carter, voice trembling. Is this for real? He chuckles, calm as ever. Oh, it's real. Sarah, your dad made sure it was ironclad, no public filings, no leaks. The board doesn't even know unless you tell them. Why wait till now? I ask, still reeling. He wanted you to see the company for yourself first, he says, to figure out who's who, to decide if you even wanted it before you took it. That hits me hard. For years, I've been the invisible one, overlooked in meetings, watching Greg take credit for my ideas, smiling through the nice work. Sarah. But let's hear from the guy's nonsense. I thought hard work would be enough, but it wasn't until now. Now I've got leverage. The kind Greg can't charm or bully his way out of. Let's talk next steps. I tell Carter, tomorrow. You got it, he says. We'll prep the shareholder docs whenever you're ready. I hang up, staring out my window at the city, humming along, oblivious to the bomb that just dropped in my lap. I don't tell a soul, not my coworkers, not my friends, nobody. I just sit with it, letting it sink in, this secret pulsing under my skin. I'm still me, Sarah, the spreadsheet nerd, the one Greg thinks lacks vision, but I'm also something else now, something he'll never see coming. Fast forward to the day he fires me, and it's like the universe handed me the perfect opening. That smug good luck out there as he walked out. It was the spark I needed. I didn't cry, didn't rage. I just packed my stuff and texted Jen because I knew what was next. That night, I'm pacing my apartment, replaying every condescending smirk Greg's ever thrown my way. Every time he dismissed me as not leadership material. It's not just about me anymore. It's about Dad's legacy, about the people still in that building who deserve better than his crap. By Monday, rumors are flying at work. Texts from colleagues pile up. Sarah, what happened? Did you quit? Greg's acting weird. HR's clammed up. You okay? I don't reply. Let them whisper. Let Greg strut around thinking he's won. I want him cocky, blind, right up until I drop the hammer. Jen's working overtime, prepping the shareholder meeting notice, and I'm plotting every step like a chess master. This isn't revenge, it's justice, and it's going to be glorious. All right, Reddit, welcome back to the saga of me, Sarah, the 32-year-old who went from fired to about to flip the script faster than Greg Voss can say, you lack vision. Part 2 left me clutching a secret that could topple empires, 90% ownership of the company. My dad built, handed to me on my birthday, like a golden ticket wrapped in a trust. Now, let's crank up the tension. Because this is where I start sharpening the knife. I'm gonna plunge into Greg's overinflated ego. It's Monday, 3 days after Greg released me, and I'm a ghost to the office. My phone's blowing up with texts. Sarah, you okay? Did you piss off Greg? What's going on? But I'm radio silent, sipping coffee in my apartment, plotting. The silence isn't just petty, it's strategy. I want Greg swaggering around, thinking he's erased me, while I'm out here pulling strings he doesn't even know exist. Jen Emmy, lawyer, is a machine by Sunday night. She's got the shareholder meeting docs locked and loaded, and I'm meeting her Tuesday to finalize the kill shot. Tuesday morning, I'm in a downtown cafe, tucked in a corner booth with a flat white, trying not to look like I'm about to rewrite history. Jen slides in across from me, all business in her sharp blazer, pushing a folder my way. This is it, she says. The official notice, special shareholder meeting. Agenda, leadership review. New exec appointments. Your 90% voting powers all here. Legal and binding. I flip through it. Heart pounding. The weight of those pages sinking in. This isn't just paper, it's power. Raw and undeniable. You sure you're ready? Jen asks, peering over her glasses. This is a grenade. Sarah, you toss it. and that boardroom's gonna explode. I meet her gaze. Steady as steel, they lit the fuse when they fired me. Jen. I'm just finishing the job. She nods, a flicker of respect in her eyes. Fair enough. We serve notice Friday morning. Meeting set for Tuesday that gives them 2 days to freak out. I smirk. Perfect. Let Greg sweat. Later that afternoon, I meet Caroline Tate, the trustee who's been guarding my dad's shares since he passed. She's this fierce woman, late 50s, with a memory like a steel trap and zero patience for BS. We're in her office, a sleek space with a view of the city skyline, and she hands me a thick file. I've watched Greg dismantle your dad's legacy brick by brick, she says, voice sharp. You don't owe him a damn thing. Inside the file, ownership certificates, voting records, and a brutal breakdown of Greg's reign crappy employee satisfaction, skyrocketing turnover, bloated exec perks, flat revenue in a booming market. He's been coasting on fake projections, Caroline says, tapping the numbers. 2 more years like this, and he'll tank the whole company. I nod, soaking it in, my anger simmering hotter with every page. This isn't just about me, it's about the people I worked with, the ones Greg ignored or crushed. I'll let the data do the talking. I tell her, and she grins. Good. Hit him where it hurts. That night, I'm alone in my apartment, pacing, the file spread out on my coffee table like a war map. I'm furious. Yeah. But there's this electric thrill, 2 years of being underestimated, of swallowing Greg's crap. And now I've got the ammo to bury him. I try on this Navy suit I've been saving, tailored, crisp. The kind of outfit that screams, I'm not asking for power. I'm taking it. In the mirror, I practice my lines, not some grand speech, just the truth. Sharp and clean, I'm the majority shareholder. And we're done with your mess. Greg. My reflection looks back, calm but fierce. And I feel it, Dad's belief in me. Solid as stone. By Monday, the office rumor mill's in overdrive. Texts from my old team roll in. Greg's acting like nothing's up. But HR's dodging questions. What did you do? I don't answer, let them wonder. Let Greg strut. Tuesday morning dawns crisp and cool. And I'm up early, adrenaline pumping. I walk past the company building on my way to Jen, those glass doors glinting like they're mocking me, and I swear I can feel Greg up there, smug as ever, oblivious to the storm I'm about to unleash. Jen meets me by the elevators at her firm, cool and collected. They're in there now. Greg's yapping about quarterly strategy, thinking it's business as usual. I smooth my jacket, take a slow breath. Not for long. She hands me the final docs, and I clutch them like a weapon. This is it, the moment I've been building to since Greg tossed that file on my desk. My heart's a drumbeat, but my hands don't shake. I'm not nervous, I'm ready. I step toward the boardroom, the frosted glass doors looming, voices muffled behind them. Jen's at my side, a silent ally, and I push the door open with a soft click. Heads turn, chatter dies. And there's Greg, mid-sentence, freezing when he sees me. Sarah, he snaps, eyebrows shooting up. This is a board meeting, board members only. I set the ownership docs on the table, smile polite as poison. Exactly. Then I take the head seat, the silence so thick you could choke on it. And I know this is where it all flips. All right, Reddit. Here we go, part 4. The moment I've been dreaming of since Greg Voss smirked his way through firing me. I'm 32. Standing at the head of the boardroom table, ownership docs in hand, and the air's so tense you could snap it like a twig. Greg staring at me from the other end, confusion, twisting his face into something almost comical, and I'm savoring every damn second of this. Sarah, he barks again, voice sharp enough to cut glass. This is a board meeting. Employees aren't allowed. What the hell are you doing? I don't flinch. Just slide the ownership certificate across the table. Calm as a sniper. I'm not here as an employee, Greg. I'm here as the majority shareholder. That line lands like a thunderclap boom. The room shifts. Board members blink. some leaning forward, others stiffening like they've been zapped. Mr. Ellis, this grizzled vet from my dad's era, peers at the doc through his glasses. Is this legit? Absolutely. I say, voice steady. 90% of the shares. Transferred to me via a family trust on my 31 birthday. All filed notarized. And locked in per corporate bylaws. Jen Nemi lawyer steps up cool as ice. Handing the board secretary a copy. Greg's scoff cuts through the silence, loud and desperate. This is absurd. You can't be serious. Why would your dad? Because he trusted me. I cut in, sharp and final, and because he saw what you turned this place into without someone to stop you. The room goes dead quiet. Everyone knows what I mean. Greg spent years poisoning this company, turning my dad's legacy into a playground for his ego. Employee morale's in the gutter. Good people quit. And he's been padding his pockets while the numbers flatline. He stands face red. This is a coup. Sarah, a petty little vendetta you think you can just waltz in here and... I'm not asking, I say, voice rising just enough to own the space. I'm exercising my rights. I open the second folder, Caroline's damning report, and slide it down the table. Let's talk performance. Greg, the numbers don't lie. Employee satisfaction down 38% in 2 years. Turnover up 47%. 3 discrimination complaints rotting in HR revenue stagnant while the market soars. I've got testimony from department heads, employee surveys, financial audits, I say, locking eyes with him, plus records of misused funds, unauthorized trips, .exec bonuses, .fake investor reports, all signed off by you. Board members flip through the pages, murmurs rippling. Mr. Ellis looks sick. The CFO whispers to the general counsel, who's already tapping away on his tablet. Greg's jaw clenches. You're twisting data for your revenge fantasy, Sarah. It's pathetic. I don't need to twist anything. I shoot back. You banked on no one powerful calling you out. Guess what? That ends today. The air's electric. Every eye on us. I pull the final doc, my trump card. Effective immediately. As majority shareholder, I'm submitting a motion to remove Greg Voss as CEO. My 90% vote carries it. The board secretary stammers. You don't need a second. I own 90%. I say, simple and brutal. Majority rules. Mr. Ellis clears his throat. Per bylaws. The motion's valid. Effective once paperwork's filed. Greg slams a hand on the table. You can't do this. I already did. I say, and it's like the air gets sucked out of the room. He doesn't fight, just storms out. Face a mess of rage and disbelief. And here's the kicker. He doesn't look like the king anymore. He looks small, shriveled. A bully who's finally been punched back. The door clicks shut, and I exhale, slow and deep, turning to the board. This company deserves better. So do its people, and starting now, that's what they'll get. Mr. Ellis nods, a faint smile breaking through. Welcome back, Sarah. The rest of the week's a blur. Greg's nameplate's gone by Friday. But I don't rush into his office. I've got bigger plans than a fancy desk. Monday rolls around, and I call an all-hands meeting in the main conference hall, same place Greg used to strut his stuff, flashing fake stats and kissing up to his cronies. This time, it's different people file in curious, nervous, hopeful. The front row's empty like they're afraid to get too close. I step up. No notes, no slides, just me. Raw and real. Some of you know me, some just know the rumors. But here's the truth. I didn't come to grab power. I came to bring back trust. A few heads tilt, eyes widen. I've got them. Last week, I was fired, I say, grinning a little, told I wasn't what this company needed, that I didn't have the leadership to carry us forward. Nervous laughs ripple out, then spread my honesty's breaking the ice. I didn't fight then. I go on. Because I knew something. Greg didn't leadership isn't about yelling or strutting. It's about vision, respect, lifting up the people who do the work. I spot familiar faces engineers I've brainstormed with, assistants Greg ignored, analysts buried under his nonsense, and I feel it. This fire. Dad lit in me. Starting today, everything changes, I say. And the room leans in, hanging on my words. All right, Reddit, we're at the finish line, part 5, where I, Sarah, 32, and newly minted CEO, turn this company from Greg Voss's personal sandbox back into the legacy my dad dreamed of. Part 4 left me standing in front of a packed conference hall, promising change after dropping the hammer on Greg. Now, it's time to deliver. And trust me, this is where the real work and the real payoff kicks in. That all-hands meeting, it's electric. People are leaning in, eyes bright with a mix of hope and skepticism. Greg burned them too many times with empty promises for years. I tell them, voice steady, this place ran on you, your ideas, your grind, your belief we were building something real, and somewhere along the way, that got trashed. I pause, let it sink in. I was fired last week because I didn't fit Greg's mold. But here's the thing, I don't need his mold. I've got my own, and it starts with all of you. A ripple runs through the crowd, nods, whispers, a few smiles. I lock eyes with Tara, a customer service rep I've seen kill it for years, and Jake, a product dev who quit under Greg's reign. Over the next 2 weeks, I say, I'm listening department heads, interns, custodians. Whoever's got something to say, I want to hear it. What's broken? What you need? Who's been overlooked? They're with me now. The room buzzing, and I feel Dad's hand on my shoulder, guiding me home. Those 2 weeks are a whirlwind. I'm everywhere, cramped meeting rooms, the break room, even the loading dock, coffee in hand, notebook open, asking questions Greg never bothered with. Tara tells me her manager's been stealing her thunder. Jake vents about being passed over for less qualified bros. The custodial crew begs for basic respect. I don't just nod and smile, I act. Tara's promoted to head of client experience, a role she's been rocking unofficially forever. Jake's back, leading product dev with a fire I've missed. HR gutted and rebuilt those discrimination complaints Greg buried. I read every word. And 3 toxic mid-level managers are out by week's end. Then I launch the People First Initiative, Dad's old dream, my new mission. It's simple, reward innovation, boost collaboration, smash glass ceilings, no matter your title. No more whisper networks. No more wait your turn, just good people getting their due. The office shifts, fast laughter's back in the break room. Desks sprout photos and plants. People stay late because they want to. One night, I catch a whiteboard in the engineering bullpen. She came back, scrawled in blue, underlined twice. Not she won, not she fired Greg, she came back. That hits me harder than any title ever could. A week later, I move into the CEO's office not for the optics, but because it's time. The nameplate's new. Brushed steel, Sarah Wren, Chief Executive Officer. I keep it minimal, just Dad's photo from opening day. Me in a red dress beside him, both grinning like the world's ours. I sit, open my laptop, and dive into the quarterly report, our best in 5 years. Customer satisfaction's up 23%. Retentions soared 41%. Revenues breaking records. But the how matters more, we did it clean, together. No shortcuts. There's a knock, Tara pops in. Eyes shining, you ready, boards waiting. I smooth my blazer. Let's go. The boardroom's transformed, not the decor, but the vibe. Half the board's women now, several under 40, and Richard Tanaka, our new strategic advisor, sits center, a sharp mind. Dad would have loved. Before we start, Richard says, nodding my way. Sarah's got something. I wasn't planning to speak, but standing there. Every eye on me with respect, not doubt. I know this is what Dad prepped me for. Thanks to all of you, I say, voice clear, for betting on change, for making tough calls when safe ones would have been easier, for helping me rebuild a company that puts people over power. I pause, feel the weight settle. Someone told me I lacked leadership, But it's not about noise or titles, it's vision.accountability. Courage to do right when it's hard. My dad built this place on that, and I'm proud we're living it again. Quiet, then applause warm, real, the kind that sticks. That afternoon, I wander the floors like I used to chatting with devs, high-fiving marketing interns, grabbing a cupcake in the break room for some kid's last intern day. I sit with them, talking nonsense for 20 minutes. Because this isn't just a company, it's a home now. Exactly 1 year after Greg fired me, I'm back at those glass doors, tailored suit, leather folder, peace in my chest. The receptionist stands. Morning, Miss Wren. Elena, please. I smile. We're a team. The elevator hums to the top Greg's old domain, now mine. I kept the walnut desk, the big windows, but the walls, covered with team photos, retreats, launches names Greg never knew. Now, front and center, behind my chair, Dad's portrait hangs not a trophy, a reminder. I sit, review the day, and feel it. Not triumph, not revenge, just belonging. This is my responsibility, and I'm honoring it. Every step.